Hey guys, welcome to Conscious Business Talks. I'm your host, Amber Mirza, and today we're going to talk about something that seemed to be just this weird thing that I felt like I had to do, had no plans of doing, but it ended up not only becoming part of something I want to continue doing ongoing, but it also just melded so wonderfully with everything that I was doing already. So this is literally the story behind the recharge sessions, and as the topic that I put into it says, reset, recharge, or just plain relief. Why? Because man, this was one of those things that I literally would have thought, and I was told that it was insane to attempt when I was attempting it, and yet I just felt like I had to do it, and here we are. So bear with me. I want to make sure that I don't get my computer restarted, because it just gave me a warning that restart now. And I'm like, no, not now. So this recharge sessions, man, okay. It was just before Christmas, and I was talking to friends of mine, entrepreneurs, in so many different stages of their life. Some of them were adapting to this whole pandemic thing and trying to figure out what they were going to be doing, what they needed to do. Hey, Larissa. Hey, Robin. Hey, Vicky. Hi, Few. Hey, Ange. I know you guys are all there, so thank you so much. And Matt, I think you were there too. So it's really cool to see you guys all. Thank you for joining me. But so I was talking to all these friends of mine who are entrepreneurs in different stages of their entrepreneurial journey, and some of them had unprecedented amazing year, and they had benefited so much from what the change in the environment and in the economy and in the business environment around them had brought to them. Some of them were still trying to figure out, things were kind of clicking, but not quite where they wanted to be. And others who were still, trying to figure out what they needed to do, and just feeling very foggy with this whole change that, COVID-19 brought with it to everybody. But no matter who I talked to, I was getting this same feeling of, hunkering down, kind of just spent. And in some cases, just this beaten, feeling. And I thought, this doesn't make sense. We're coming towards Christmas. Yes, there's a lot of change that we're adapting to, but we as entrepreneurs, hey, Radisha, you made it too. Awesome. Yay. But we are used to adapting to changes that are thrown at us, and uncertainty is something that's par for the course for this life that we like to call ours. And yes, it was a big change, and everybody was kind of adapting and reeling to it. But I just did not want to end the year either like feeling like I was here, or worse, like, here where I was kind of on a downtrend and thinking, like so many people I heard say, I just want to wipe this year from my memory, and I don't want to even, like, I want to forget 2020. And I thought, no, I want to end the year just where I am on a freaking rise, where my energy is so amped up that when that clock strikes midnight, I'm rearing to go. I can't wait for it to strike midnight and for January to roll over, because no matter what we like to think of as the new year, it is, it's not like it was magically going to be so different from what 2020 was. And hey, Shano, thanks for joining. It was just the weirdest feeling I had, and I talked about it to a couple of friends that, I want to hold a session something where people like us, entrepreneurs who are wired, to just take on this life of, in my opinion, it's a life of amazing ups and downs and a heck of a ride and um, adventure. I think of it as adventure, exploring new things, testing, things to see what works, what doesn't work, what value can we create, how can we show up even better, how can we just show up powerfully, connect with our purpose, and just feel like we're bringing such a huge part of us to share with the world, so that there is a way that it can continue on long after we're gone. That's what entrepreneurship means to me, that you're bringing part of yourself and sharing it with the world, with a view to creating value for people, with a view to creating an environment where we lift each other up, we share, we co-create, we just have an amazing time doing all of it, right? And anyway, and when I talked to a couple of friends of mine and I said, this is what I'm thinking, and this was so close to Christmas, so they were like, okay, you're crazy. This is insane. Nobody's gonna want to do anything around Christmas, so like, don't even waste your time. And I was like, okay. So I kind of let myself get talked out of it. And then Christmas came and went. And right after Christmas, I just had this really strong feeling right here in my gut. And I'm just like, no, I can't let it go. I cannot let it go. So I think it was right after the 26th, the night of, I literally was, it was around 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I'm doing it. And the insanity of it is, if a client of mine had come to me and said, here, take my money and put this thing out, and help me launch this, I would have said, no, I cannot take your money. There's no time to promote. There is no time to build anything. There's no time to let people know about it. There's just no time for anybody to actually join you. So no, I'm not taking your money. And yet here I was, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and thinking, flip it, I'm going to do it. And the funny thing is, I'd never talked to, this is stuff that I'd used for myself, right? Whenever I was feeling low in energy, and when I was trying to figure out my own way, and how I was trying to merge my purpose with, my business, right? It's and really, to me, they're one and they're kind of all melded together anyways, but it was stuff that I had figured out by myself, one step at a time, sometimes, like really painfully, like stumbling and bumbling and messing it up. And that's right, Radisha, that's when we met. So here I was. I literally just sat down and I started working on setting up a funnel. I started working on the copy. And Vicky, yes, big adventure, totally big adventure. And so was that night. I had the adventure of a lifetime, because I literally sat down, started working on what I wanted to say, and it flowed from my heart. I just poured it all out, put it on paper. And I think it was around 4 o'clock in the morning that I wrapped it up. And then I roped in somebody and said, could you please hook up the integrations at the back so I can grab a couple of hours of sleep? And then I get a message actually from a friend of ours. And he said, do you know your funnel is on test mode? And I was like, it's on test mode? Holy crap. There's literally, I'm presenting that night and my funnel's on test mode. There is nobody who can actually sign in, join me or anything. And I'm thinking, oh, great. And so got the web page, the funnel turned on so people could join. And it's a miracle anybody actually could see it in the time that was left. This is around 11:30, 12 o'clock. And around 1:30, I lost my internet. I had no internet, and I thought, oh, okay, well, it's going to be up in about an hour or so. We had just entered a lockdown. I couldn't even just go to a cafe and just, go check anything. Finally get a message. I would get a phone call onto my service provider, and I'm talking to them, and they had messed up somehow on the actual modem number that I had, and they were trying to get it back on, but they're like, we don't think we can actually get you back on in time. As it turns out, for 3 days, I had no internet. I got a message out, had the funnel turned off. It was barely up for like 2 hours, if that. And it's literally miraculous that anybody actually bought. But you know what? Somebody did. So I wanted to make it up to them that I couldn't deliver that night. And I turned it into a workshop. And I talked about what eventually came to be Conscious Business Talks, because so much of what we talked about is literally the foundation of what this is. What this ended up as the things I talked to you about. Right? So we talked about how to bring your purpose, how to bring your values, how to bring it, what your stand is into how you show up in your business, how you incorporate it in the different structures, in the framework of your business, and how you literally then translate it into a structure, a culture that permeates every level of your organization, so that everybody who is joining your team then becomes so committed to their purpose showing up in their role that it's impossible for the organization not to succeed, right? And everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to do, just like I talked about in the very first episode my show, that how everybody is like that player on that winning team, who just knows that their main goal, their number one goal, is to help the business, the organization succeed, no matter what the label of their role is, right? And at first I thought, okay, well, this is really cool. And for me, oh man, it's hard for me to even describe how I was trying to energize the people who were coming into the session, and I ended up being one of the people who got energized watching the transformation I could see right in front of my eyes. It was one of the most wonderful days, because I had never thought that I would be talking to people about something that seemed just some stuff, some personal stuff that worked for me. This wasn't necessarily just about business metrics. This wasn't just about measurement. This wasn't just about setting up your business fundamentals or your marketing structure, or, stuff that I'm totally like, it's my marketing crack, as I call it. It's about how to get people to use marketing in a way that makes them shine, in a way that is unique just to them. And it doesn't matter who else copies you, because they literally cannot. That's my thing, right? But I wasn't talking to people just about that. I was talking to people about things that came before that, but they naturally just went into all of the frameworks, all of the stuff that I then talked about. So it was this beautiful melding that I thought, wow. So the ReCharge sessions, and I literally, like, this is something I just called them. It was the post-Christmas ReCharge session for entrepreneurs who want more. That's literally what it was. And Fear, you're absolutely right. Every person that joins your team is part of that purpose or goal. You're absolutely right. And Radisha, you know what? Oh man, yes. It was, for me, the most amazing outcome, because I had not predicted that. I thought it would be something cool to share with people, bring their energy up. Now they're all pumped up and they're ready to go. But it was something that I don't know whether to call it a reset. I don't know whether to call it a recharge. I don't even know whether it was just what I was noticing in them, that as the pennies started to drop, as the pieces started to fall in place, it was also the relief that I could see them feeling, that, oh. And some of them had been, they said, oh, we know what our values are, and we've done work on this before. But it was taking it to that next step that that just made it flow seamlessly into a business framework along with a personal value structure, right? So I share that story with you because sometimes things that we don't know are going to fit in not only fit in, they actually transform how you're looking at things, how you're doing certain things, and how it changes the world of someone who trusts you to take that leap with you, right? Because I'd never done it before. It was literally just me feeling like I had to, believing in that, feeling that wouldn't let go, and doing it despite all the doubts, all the worries and the fears, and thinking, holy flip, nobody's gonna want to know about this. Like, isn't this common sense? But doing it anyway, and then seeing what it meant for the people who trusted me to take them through this session. And now, guys, literally what I want to do on a regular basis, this is how I've been thinking about, okay, well, how do I make this so that it becomes part and parcel of what I talk about with everybody, right? This is what I was thinking about. And then Vicky and I were talking, and Vicky, you'll remember that conversation where I was literally like, yeah, I can talk about, I would like to talk about this, and I can, do this and whatnot. And Vicky's the one who said, it's got to be something that that presents what you feel so strongly about. And she's the one who said something, that's conscious, something that talks about business but is also awake. And and I thought, conscious business, and the two just went together, and I'm like, conscious business talks it is. And that's how it came about. It was the most amazing thing. And Larissa, I do believe that there is definitely divine guidance in that, because sometimes, and I don't want to I don't want to project by saying we, but I know there's so many times when I'll talk myself out of something because I'm like, oh, that's just me or whatever. But when that feeling just doesn't let go, then it totally is. I have learned through experience that I gotta listen, and I did. And I'm so happy because now it's literally permeating everything. When I look at, the business metrics, and when I look at the, all the measurements and all the stuff I like to geek out about, and the ethical profitability that is so important to me, and how I want the systems to go in place so that, people know exactly where to bring in people, who they're bringing in, how they're fitting the culture, how everything is fitting together, how this is affecting the bottom line. Because I don't just want to talk about revenue. Everybody talks about revenue, but revenue means nothing if your systems are not in place, if you don't have the right framework to support your profitability. Because it breaks my heart when I see entrepreneurs get married to the concept of grinding, right? They think that it's the price of their of what they're providing for the people that they love, whether they are physicians, whether they are healers, whether they are, oh my gosh, small business owners of all ilk. But it just almost gets taken for granted that, I would have to sacrifice my life so that the people that I love can be provided for. And it is so unnecessary, because with the right systems, that profit that you so deserve. And profit, when I talk about profit, I'm not just talking about money. Although, flip it, if you don't have money, how are you going to pay for all the things that create that space around you so you can be your most creative, right? So it is so important. It is so important for people to keep that in mind, right? So this is where I'm literally like, okay, people with a dream, right? Here is your big dream, your big vision. And then here is everything that you could do with it. But how do you make that dream happen? How do you translate that dream so that it becomes something achievable? And at the bottom of it, you have something that fuels every area of your life. And it gives you that freedom, that life that you went into business in the first place as being part of that dream. Who goes into business thinking I'm going to earn less than what I can do in a job, that I'm going to spend more time on this than I would if I just got a job, right? There's nothing wrong with having a job. People do incredible, amazing things in the roles that they feel that they are fulfilling their calling and really being in alignment with their purpose. They're absolutely crushing those jobs, right? Nothing wrong with the job. So what is it that that makes those of us who feel like, okay, I want to be in business for myself? Why is it we think that we can just forego that dream of a better life for ourselves? That's the dream that got us on this path in the first place. So this is where I literally get so energized when I take that big dream and I want to translate it and take it through the framework. So at the bottom of it are your exact steps, how you can have that dream in alignment with who you are, fitting your purpose, so that every step you take, every piece of marketing that you use, every strategic decision that you take, and the tactics that you put in to make that strategy come true, everything in that fits you like a glove, right? It is not something that you're feeling icky about because it's like, okay, well, I gotta do that to earn money. Flip that. Life is better than that. And this is where conscious business and our talks about conscious business will come into play. Because, yeah, you're right, Zishan. Ethics in business is huge. For me, it isn't a moralistic, big brouhaha kind of stand. It's literally something that fits you as part of who you want to show up as, right? And how you affect the people who are joining you in your business journey, whether they're your customers or they're your suppliers or they're your team members, or frankly, they're your family members. Because all these relationships are part and parcel of who you show up as a business owner, right? And touch. So feel your purpose, walk your purpose, and feed your purpose. Absolutely, 100%. I was worried I was preaching it, but it literally, I was talking to Andrew before it, and I'm like, I feel a little bit panicked because I haven't even had time to plan anything, but like the recharge sessions, this literally is just coming up as something from the heart. So anyways, let me see if I missed some of the comments. Revenue often disconnected from that divine place. Yes. And there's so often, like, I am part of so many different groups and quite a few masterminds. And it's because I want to, it's all in an effort for me to figure out this stuff that then the people who I'm helping don't have to. Because I don't believe that we have to wear all the hats, right? And so when I'm part of certain groups, I'm hearing about this talk about how we can use marketing, and almost feels icky, some of the words being used, right? And I'm just like, it doesn't have to be icky. No, we're not trying to manipulate people. We're not trying to make them or trick them into buying anything. It's got nothing to do with that. It literally is sharing part of what you produce, the value you bring in an effort to make somebody else's life better, and how you just let them know that you have something that will touch their life in a positive way, make it better so they can go and do what they do best and improve other lives around them, including their own. So this is literally where it's coming from. Oh, let's see. Yes, yes, I love how this is more and more of part of the awareness, right? Because people deserve better, whether they're buying from you, whether there's somebody who's trusting you to help you connect them to somebody who has the solution to their problem. But yeah, people are now realizing it's there's a better way to be in business. Oh my gosh, girl, absolutely would love that. And Zishan, Ritisha, listening is, oh yes, yes. And it's the I had to learn that. I had to learn that because sometimes we get so busy trying to help that we forget to listen to what the actual problem is. So you're 100% right. I'm so honored that you guys stayed with me throughout this all. This is so cool. Your comments are amazing. Thank you. And yep, recharge sessions it is, love. Until I come up with a name that fits it better, for me, it was such a recharge. Amping up of that energy to get to that get to that place where I felt that we were all lifted up, ready to take on whatever that was around the corner. And not just that, wanting to just show up and create what we uniquely are equipped to create. Thank you so much for joining me on this session. Thank you for sticking through and listening to the story of how this all kind of came together into this platform that we are connected through today. Recharge sessions are going to continue on. Matt wants me to put them on every week, but I'll see when how often I want to run them. But I'm pretty darn sure they're going to be an ongoing thing. So thank you again. This is Amber Mirza with Conscious Business Talks with you. I'll be here next Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time, and I'm pretty sure that's 11:30 a.m. Australia Brisbane time. I think Fridays. I could be wrong. Anyways, thanks again, guys. Have an amazing evening, and we'll talk to you soon.